Bruh, listen to me, okay? Doom Part 2 is a great movie, but it fucking wishes it was Love Lies Bleeding. Like, to me, Doom 2 was kicked repeatedly in the balls, kissed on the lips, and was told, "You broke my heart," then taken down with one slap. How men feel about Doom 2, I feel about Love Lies Bleeding. Yeah, Love Lies Bleeding was good. Rose Glass had previously made Saint Maud, a movie that I very much enjoyed. She did an amazing job with the atmosphere of the film, and she did a sensational job with the horror elements. Those jump scares are still pierced into my memory like a tattoo. Now she has her newest movie, Love Lies Bleeding, and oh my god, it is so good. I love it, I love it, I love it. Ah! I thought about this, but I haven't felt this passionately about an A24 film since maybe Beau Was Afraid. I know that's a lot more recent than what you thought I was gonna say, but the point is I'm obsessed with this. I mentioned how Saint Maud had such a distinct atmosphere that was easy to get sucked into, and Love Lies Bleeding is the same way, but the atmosphere in this one is so much more slimy and gross. Basically every inch of this movie gives off the worst kind of vibe imaginable. You feel as if any second shit could go absolutely down, but where it becomes creative is that in the beginning it tricks you into believing everything could be fine, and the atmosphere of the movie is, well, just the atmosphere of the movie. And that's because of the chemistry between Kristen Stewart and Katy O'Brien. It is 100% believable and so electric, but Glass feels like she has your full undivided attention. She completely turns the tables on you and gives you something completely shocking, violent, and gross, and it never feels out of place. Glass really holds nothing back here and really isn't afraid to be as ridiculous and gross as possible. This is one of those movies that earns its title as shocking, because when the body horror starts to happen, there's really no time to put your guard up, and there really isn't a care in the world if you're ready for it or not. There are images in this movie that are so hideous and disturbing, but you can't look away, especially during scenes whenever a character goes through a drug trip. It becomes borderline anxiety-inducing and terrifying. This entire movie feels like something Cronenberg would make during his prime in the 80s. Speaking of the 80s, this movie might be the most retroactive movie I have seen since It Follows back in 2015. This movie never explicitly states that it takes place in the 80s, but you can just tell. They made sure to have every inch of this movie feel like you're watching something from the 80s. Not only from the set designs, but from the song choices, the score from Clint Mansell, the costume design, the cinematography, it all screams that it was from the 80s. It is one of the most 80s movies that never came out in the 80s. And I love when movies take full advantage of the time period where it doesn't just become a tribute, but you just believe that you're in that time period. I'm just obsessed with how much detail Rose Glass put into this movie in terms of setting up the time period. I'm a huge Kristen Stewart fan. She's definitely one of my favorite, not only actresses, but celebrities in general, and this is easily my favorite performance she's ever done. She starts off as easily the most relatable and funniest character in the movie, with her bluntness and how she reacts to certain situations, but then when the shit hits the fan, you immediately start feeling for her, because you can tell she's scared and doesn't know what to do, and she just wants everything to be over now. She just makes it incredibly believable. Katy O'Brien is stellar as well as this woman who unfortunately fell into a path of addiction, and how she reacts to everything while on her drug trips are so authentic and terrifying. And speaking of terrifying, Ed Harris is menacing as hell. Not only does he have the voice for this, but just by looking at this man, you immediately feel uneasy and gross. You can see every wrinkle on this man's face, and his voice is just vile. But easily, my favorite performance of this movie is Anna Baryshnikov. I really hope I said that right. She basically just plays a girl who has a crush on Kristen Stewart's character, and could have so easily been a throwaway character, but the way she presents this character is so unnerving and weird, but somehow kind of charming. It's another instance of you take one look at her appearance, and she just seems disgusting, but the way she obsesses over Kristen Stewart's character and just the sliminess of her voice is so cringe-inducing. And I mean that in the absolute best way possible. You can't look away from her. She absolutely owns every second of the amount of screen time that she has. Yeah, I'm obsessed with this movie. Love Lies Bleeding is a movie that holds nothing back and can be hard to watch, but you can't take your eyes off it. Every single person is on the exact same page. It's disturbing yet incredibly charming and satisfying, and it has an absolute banger of an ending where they just up the ridiculousness and it absolutely works wonders. I know the ending is pretty controversial. I don't care. I think it rips. I'm just gonna end this here. Please go see this. Thank you guys so much for watching. Here are my socials if you want to connect with me, and don't forget to subscribe. Alright, bye bye.